Today we are going to be showing you how to use the structure block in Minecraft 1.14.30. Okay, so first things first, we will need to get the structure block, and it is a block that you cannot get through the regular inventory. So you will need to use commands by pressing the T or the slash button, and then type in /give @s for yourself, and then structure underscore block, and that will give you the structure block. Okay, so before we use the structure block here, you will want to get some sort of build that you have in a creative world or a testing world or some kind of world, but this needs to be in a creative world to use the structure block. And then you want to know how many blocks wide and tall your block or your structure is, so that I know mine is 11 by 10 by 7. You can do this by counting out the blocks here, or by looking up at the coordinates by going to the edge blocks, there are the four corners of your structure, and looking at the coordinates. But I would just count the blocks here so that you know how many blocks your build is and how much you want to copy. So you can just do it by counting the border lines of your build until you're satisfied with what you have and what you want to copy. So I have a simple little house here, and you could probably use any one of the builds that you want to load up into the structure block. So for those of you who do not know what the structure block is, it's basically, it can take 3D exports of your builds, and as you can see here, you can see part of my build already, and it could take 3D exports of it. It can also save and load it so that you can copy the build and paste it all over your world. But this is only for experimental gameplay, and we'll get to that later. So first, for the 3D export, as you can see here, it's only looking at a part of the house, and I want to get the rest of the house that's over here. So what you need to do is go over to the size here, and I know that my build is 11, and then 5, and then 11. And I think it might be 7 instead of 5. Yes. So, as you can see here, it doesn't get the full build. And it includes the structure box, so we don't want that there. You can offset it by going to the offset coordinates, and then you can either do the X or the Y, and then that will move it up one so that you do not see the structure block. And I will probably want to up it 2 on the Z so that it can see the build here. So as you can see here, I don't have it fully. There's one block here that I don't want, so I'll just turn this to 10. And as you can see here, we have our full build. Okay, so before you push the export button, you will need to put a name for the structure that you want to 3D export. So I will put in house, and then you can press the 3D export button. So then it will ask you where you want to save it. So you can just save it into your desktop, and then there you go, your save file is there on your desktop, and you can open up with some sort of 3D editing software. If you're on Windows 10, I know there is a free Windows program that comes with Windows 10 that you could use, and there's probably a bunch of others that you can find all over the web. So okay, if you do want to use the save and load features, we are in 1.14.30, so they are still in experimental gameplay. So what you need to do is find the world that you want to use, go into settings, and then scroll down here to game, and there should be use experimental toggle. You want to turn this on, and it will ask you to activate it. So basically what this will do is give you a copy of this world, and it will give you the experimental gameplay features. So you want to push continue. It'll copy your world for you. And as you can see here, we have the EX tag, which means experimental gameplay. Now we can go inside here. And we have a new copy of the world, but now we can use the experimental gameplay features. So we'll go ahead and put the structure block down, and we can get the size of our build. And there we go, now we have the house. So to use the save feature, you will need to put in the name again, so I will put in house. You can put in whatever. Then you can press save into memory or save in the disk. It doesn't really matter which one you need, but save to disk will allow it to save to your storage device. Save to memory will only save it as you only have the game open. So then I will press save to disk because I want to save this forever, and then we could press save. Then we can go back out to another area here, a flat area. We can put another structure block. Then I will go to load feature, and then I will put in house. And as you can see here, we can load it back in, and there we go, we have our house. You may not be able to see the loaded feature as you are in the structure block menu because it's still experimental gameplay, and Mojang is probably still trying to figure out all the bugs and all the stuff. So okay, so there are some other features within the structure block that you can play with. There is the include entities button. There is also the remove blocks button, so this is also a good way if you want to easily get rid of blocks and don't know the regular commands on how to do this. You can also show the bounding box or turn it off, turn it on, and that's also good stuff to do. There's also a couple of other things that you can do within the load feature, and you can also rotate your build. You can also mirror it through the X or Z coordinates, and then there's a bunch of other stuff here that you can just play around with. There's also, it's also on the 3D export. So there's really a lot of stuff that you can play around with through the structure block. Also, maybe consider subscribing to our channel, and thank you for watching our video, and have a awesome rest of your day.